this is Jamie. I want to welcome you to my channel today. Hope you're all doing well and staying safe. Today I have a review video for you guys. I was contacted by the HOTU company, and they asked me if they could send me some of their brush alcohol markers to review on the channel and share with you guys, and they did. So they sent me these markers. They're brush and chisel. They're 60 colors, and I am really excited because I am an alcohol marker girl. I do like to use my pencils, but I'm prone to use my alcohol markers a lot in a lot of my coloring, and so it definitely is very exciting. I am going to put in the description box below a link and a discount code. They gave me a discount code for all of my followers and subscribers that watch this video that are interested in these markers on Amazon. You can put in the code and you should be able to get a certain % off. And yeah, I'm going to kind of show you what these look like. They come in the black case, and it actually is very squared off, so they're not like loose and flying around, you know. And it comes with a little plastic sheet for putting behind your paper for bleed through. It says this is for thin paper to put underneath your paper. And let me see if it has anything else in here. We've got a few little papers. Let's see what we've got. So as you can see, they have these like hard things inside the case, so it makes your markers stand up really nice. I like that a lot. I'm going to kind of move these out of the way a little so we can see here. It says use your guide, and it has a brush, a fine, and a chisel. They do make a chisel and a fine marker as well, but the ones that they sent me today are the brush and chisel. And these are just instructions on how to use them in different languages. And then we've got our swatch sheet that we can swatch together. And right here, it just says that you can scan to join their community. This product is an alcohol solvent, which might have a little bit of an odor to it. It's safe and non-toxic. During storage, keep it away from open flames and direct sunlight. Yeah, it says make sure the cap is tightly closed to avoid them like drying out. You want it to have a long lifespan. Due to differences in ink and cap material, there might be some color variation between the two. So even if it says like on the cap here that it's bright orange, it may be slightly different because that's what it's just saying. There is a difference. And that is why they give you this color chart so that you can swatch it. If one end of the appears to have insufficient ink, please invert the pen. So that, I think that means that you can pull the tip out and turn it around and put it back in, similar to the OHUHUs, and give it like a half an hour before using it again. And what I would say is after you do that, maybe tip it this way so the ink will go down, and then it should work. Use thick paper, but if you can't, you can always use thin paper. And then they said they've provided you with this. If you accidentally get ink on your hands or table, you can wipe it clean with alcohol or other solvent. I found with alcohol markers, if I get ink on my hands, I can always go to the sink and wash my hands with Dawn dish soap, and it usually comes off really easily. And if I get it like on my table, this is my kitchen table, and say I got some really gnarly red drops or black drops, if I take my alcohol marker blender and go over it, I can get it off my table. So just a trick there. It's not on here, but I'm just telling you what works for me. yeah, these, it says if you get into the community, they have prompt response to the products. And I do have to say, they are very prompt. We've been emailing back and forth and very cooperative. I'm really impressed with their ability to talk back and forth to me. They do drawing skills, exclusive discounts and giveaways, a chance for extended warranties on these pens. I am not sure if they do refills on these. I did ask them if they have a bigger set than the 60, and they said they are going to be coming out with a 120 in June. So if you're interested in that, yeah. And what else? Yeah, I already told you about the discount code down in the description box below. And what we'll do is we'll swatch these out on my swatch sheet here. And then after I'm done, maybe we will take a coloring book, maybe one of those cute, cozy coloring books that's the new fashion right now, and do some coloring in it and see how we feel about the brush tip and the chisel. And let me just see, I'm pretty far away from my swatch, so I'm going to just zoom in so you guys can see a lot better. Yeah, I'm going to have to like rearrange these so they're in a better order, but let's find this first one. Okay, so this is Canary Yellow. I'm just looking at the marker to see if it says the marker color name. It doesn't, but it has the color or the number on both ends of the cap. And if you just examine the marker, it just says HOTU or HOTU art marker, brush and broad. Yeah, I don't want to compare it to another marker because I don't have another marker right in front of me, but I can grab one real quick. Okay, so I'm going to just compare it to an OHOHO. So I have this OHOHO pastel marker, and it is very similar in barrel. This feels more matte than this feels more slick, the OHOHOs. These feel more matte. And yeah, the OHOHOs have the name on the pastel ones, but I don't think they do on the regular ones. But it's basically the same concept, broad chisel. Let's kind of compare our brush tips. Here I have a very nice brush tip. Looks very nice. And let me compare to, so this is my OHOHO. And these I recently turned, my OHOHO ones, because they were looking. So the orangey one is the OHOHO. They look fairly similar. This one's going to be straighter because I've used this one. So we'll give it a go and see how it measures up. And then chisel is pretty universal. Yeah, theirs is a pretty universal chisel as well. So we will swatch and see how the bleed out goes in these particular markers. I'm going to try with the brush tip first. It does seem to be very controllable. I don't see a lot of bleed out of the lines. I mean, I'm not perfect in coloring this, but I didn't see any massive bleed out there. Let's find the next one, which is YO25. It's a pale olive. This one right here. And maybe this one we'll try the chisel, or the chisel end. And we'll just go straight across. Maybe I should have put this behind, but I think it's pretty thick. I think we're okay. So you can get a good stroke with your chisel. And let's try lightning yellow. It does have like a little bit of a bend to the end, but it's still very controllable. Y34, 314. We'll try the chisel on this one. I'm gonna put this one back because I'm trying to Y to 11. Where is that? What color does it say? Grayish yellow. So I kind of know what color I'm looking for. There we go. If you can do a fine line. You can do a thick line. I'm just kind of playing to see what kind of line variation I can get. Let's see, where's the Y503? Let's see. Never good at finding things when I'm supposed to. Or maybe we could just pull them out and see if we can find them on the sheet instead of trying to go in order. This one is Morin. This one is orange. Ooh, that's pretty bright. Like a red orange. We've got R304. Let's see if we can find that. I can't find that one. It's okay, I'll find it in a minute. Oh, there it is. Of course, it was right next. This is Pastel Rose. That's a pretty color. We've got Y823. And this is Henna. It's a pretty brown, very rich, very warm tone. R213 is a Rose Boulevard. That one's not as pinky, it's more orange, orangey red. I like that. We've got R302, and that one's Fruit Pink. Most of the time the Fruit Pink is pretty light, so, oh, this one's not as light, because the Fruit Pink in the Hoo-Hoos is a very light, almost really skin tony. So this is a different Fruit Pink shade. I like that. I like that pink color. It's a really hard one to get unless you get pastel markers. Y900. This one's baby skin pink, so this one's probably going to be more pale. Yeah. Oftentimes the Fruit Pink comes out to look like this baby skin pink in other marker brands, I noticed. We've got a green one here, green 523. This is Milk Green. Okay. It's not like a rich, vibrant green. It kind of has its own hue, which is cool. We got G318, which is Ocean Green. Let's see how this looks. Well, that has a very pretty color to it. Let's see, R043. Where are you? The mystery spot. Okay, I'll set it aside and I'll see if I can find it in a second. G915. This is chartreuse green. I love chartreuse green in my Prismacolors. It's a really good shade. I guess I'm used to chartreuse being a little lighter, but maybe when it dries it will get lighter. Sometimes markers come down really dark and then after a while they lighten up. B258. This is a blue black. definitely. And that covered up those lines really well. I find it easier to use the chisel end when swatching. R503. Let's see here. Can we find it? Can we find it? Yes, this is a pastel pink. That is very bright. That's like a neon pink almost. Any luck finding the 43? On the top there. So this is a cameo brown. This one is a good shading brown, I think. We've got B203. Let's see what color that is. If I can find it. It's supposed to be pastel blue. It's a little too dark for me for sky, but it would be an excellent watercolor. Y623. This is potato brown. So this should be comparable to I think it's like the brown #2 or something in HOTU. I don't have all those ones memorized. We've got G406. Let's see. This is, it says Veronese green. Now that one seems like a very rich greeny green, grass green color. We've got B201. This is a mint blue. That one seems more sky-like to me. Look, this one had a little bit of bleed through on the cap here. This gray, but I can clean that up with a baby wipe or even one of those Clorox disinfectant wipes. Those will make that come off pretty easily too. This is the CG1103, so this is like a cool gray. Very nice. We have R107, which is the reddish yellow. That's a very vibrant red, like tomato red. We have G515, and this is the grass green, so let's see the difference. Okay, I can see it's slightly darker than this one, but this one does have a little bit of hint of blue in it. I could see why they make this one the grass green, but I could get away with that one being grass green too. Okay, just swatching and playing. We're just seeing what we can find here. Another cool gray. This is the number 5, 1105. We've got B114. This is cornflower. I love the color cornflower. It's a really pretty blue. We've got a purple one, which is R706. Let's see if we can find it. This is deep violet. Any more on this side? Okay, let's try this one. This is Y906. Let's see. This is Rogue Orange. I do like Rogue Orange. Now, is this really close to this? Is what I'm wondering. They look very similar. We'll wait until that dries and see if what I think. BG03, great one for clouds. And that's going to be your pastel blue. That doesn't seem too pastel-y. That looks a little too dark for clouds, unless you're doing storm clouds. But this does make an excellent shading color. for like your mint blue, I would think. Yeah. TG HOTU. Toner gray. I've never had a toner gray before. That is a new color to me. Let's see how this is. They call it Toner Gray 2. So it looks like a warm gray, but they also have warm grays in here. So I'll be interested to see the difference in warm grays compared to this gray. I do like this color. It actually reminds me of like a mouse gray. And many times I can't find the color I'm looking for when I'm coloring mice. So I do like this color. This one will be a good one. Okay. We've got another purpley one. This is R839, which is Pansy. Perfect for Mother's Day. Here's a warm gray 00, so the lightest warm gray you get. That looks very skin tony. You can use as a base, as a skin tone. Here is the lowest cool gray you can get. It's pretty good. I would say so. Similar to a lot of cool grays that I've seen. R910. I'm just looking. If you don't like swatching, I apologize. I just want to try to do this with you guys so you guys can see what the colors look like when they go down. How come I can't find this one? It's in a mystery spot. Oh, there we go. It's a pastel gray blue. That seems more like a lavender to me. This is why I've swatched these things out. We've got a pink here, which is R502. Let's see if we can find it on our sheet. Yep, medium pink. I like that one a lot. We've got another warm gray. This is the second warm gray. Okay, this is a lot darker than this one. This one almost is a skin tone, and this is seems like at the beginning. It looks very similar to this, but this one has a little hint of like, almost if you had these two and you combined them together, you would probably get that. Almost looks like that. Warm gray 06. Okay. R101, the flesh. So this is what they want to be the skin tone. Okay, so that is very bright. That looks more peach to me. I would use either the baby skin pink or the warm gray before I'd use this, because this is a little bold for skin tone for me, for white skin tone. G902. Anise. I like that. That almost reminds me of a light chartreuse. I want to say yellow chartreuse and Prismacolor is very similar to that. This is a cool gray 7. Okay. It's a good gradual color change there. We've got R218. This one's going to be the reddest of the red, I think. This is geranium. It's very deep, very rich red. We've got a G012. This is Horizon Green. I do like that color. It's a very muted green. Between these two are very muted greens. I like those a lot. I got BA002, which is a pale blue light. Okay. I could see some different things, but this reminds me of a little darker than a baby blue, but yeah, I like that one. Let's try some more blue. This is the 205. This is cerulean blue. That one's very rich. That's what reminds me of. Very rich. Be a very deep blue type of a look. I have another warm gray. Let's go over here. Yeah, I can see the transition here, which looks really good. Like I said, I think this one feels more flesh tony than gray, but that's okay because then it gives you another skin tone to use, and you can use those as your gray palettes. And like I said, I really like this toner gray. I've never seen a toner gray, so I'm impressed with that. B118 is what I have next. This is ultramarine. This is going to be your dark blue. Almost has a purple hue to it, like a periwinkle. I've got a purple one here, which is R702. This is Mauve Shadow. And that one's a very pretty color. This one is a very neutral based as well. I have B003. This one is usually my favorite one in all my marker sets. This is supposed to be sky blue. It's a little darker than HOTU's, I think, but when you look at all the blues in a row, there's enough variation that I do like that. Here's the neutral gray. Let's see how we look there. And I'm just looking at all these neutral grays. There's quite a few in the gray category that are different as well. None of them look the same, which is really nice. And of course, the color of Splendor will be nothing. I can swatch it, but there's not going to be anything on there. And we've got G702, which is Sugarcane, which should be lighter. Okay, yeah. This is one of those colors that I probably would use all the way up really fast because I like to use this kind of green as like a base color of things for shadowing, like putting pencils on top. So yeah, I'm glad they threw this in. I'd be interested in refills in this one, that's for sure. We've got the black. Nice black. And we've got R703. This is Pastel Violet. They actually gave you quite a few purples in here, which is very nice. For a 60 count marker set, there's quite a few purples. Y503, Pale Cream. Okay, so this one seems a little light, like your light orange. Almost has a hint of salmon to it. It's almost like the shade above Flesh. Like if you were to shade this, you could do it definitely with that one. Okay. This one's R607, Vivid Pink. That's definitely what it is. Vivid Pink, Barbie Pink. R400, Cherry White. This might be a good skin tone. Yep, definitely very good skin tone. It's slightly lighter than the Baby Skin Pink, the Cherry White. Only a few more to go. R105. Now, I like that red. This is Coral Pink, but it looks almost like a mild red color. I do like that a lot. Like you could use this as a base on like tomatoes and things like that and build up with other markers to create a really fun, deep, rich color. This one will be a fun one too. This is a G965. So this is Sea Pine. Very dark green. Yeah, that would be a good color for shading. If you ever want to try something different, you can shade complementary colors Like if you have something red, you can use a green to shade and vice versa. And it looks pretty cool on your pages. Oh, one more, which must be Indian blue. Let's see. That reminds me of Levi's. Like a deep blue wash denim jean. And you can look at the back. You can see what kind of bleed through, but this is very thick cardstock. Let's just kind of look at the colors here. All of these ones right here could be used as skin tones, definitely. This one, I don't know quite. I think it's a little too peachy to be skin tone. This one you could get away with skin tone, and same with this one. Like I said, I really dig this toner gray. I've never seen anything like it. I am impressed with the controllability of the brush tip, and I do like that you can get a straight line with the chisel. I am digging these green colors. We have different greens, and they're all different. None of them look the same. But yeah, here is your color, your swatch sheet there. I'm going to pause the video, and I'm going to get a coloring book all prepared for us, and then we can do some coloring and see what we think with the coloring book. Okay guys, I'm back. I'm just pulling this camera out a little so you guys can see a little bit better. I have pulled Veggie Life. This is a nice, cute, and easy book, so we can see what we can think of these markers in our little cute, comfy type coloring books. Let's just pick a nice, simple page for us to test these markers out and see how we feel. That's very summery. Let's maybe not go so summery. That's a pumpkin. It's reddish with butterflies. Maybe that one might be okay. Just need to pick something. Let's see. We got a pickle in a jar. We could do that one. And let's do this pickle in a jar. All right. Because there was a lot of good greens in our selection, and I definitely wanted to try some of the greens. Let's see. So the pickle green, I think, let's go with the chartreuse green. That looks very pickly color to me, which is the G. If I can find it now that I put it back in the thingy. 915. There it is. All right, let's just use our brush tip. Since it's darker under the water, I think, or maybe we'll color it, because water will make it look different. Yeah, maybe what we'll do is we'll color the top part with this color, and then we'll use that milk green color, which was the 523, for the bottom part of the pickle. Let's see here. See how our brush controls in the lines. Nice, slow, easy strokes. Then we keep our paper wet. The noise you hear in the background is just my kids. They're in the other room playing their video games and tablets. They're homesick. And so, yeah. I feel like these markers have a lot of control. Yeah, I'm pretty impressed. Let's take this darker color for the underwater part of the pickle. See how it's... They do feel really nice in the hand. And I'm not sure how the fine end is, because I know they do have those ones online as well. So if you prefer the fine tip and a chisel, you can definitely do that. I'll try to make a consistent line so we don't end up with streaks. Use the line work to your advantage, because those are good stopping points to prevent streaks. It's nice, relaxing coloring. They do have a smell to them, but it's because they're alcohol markers. All alcohol markers have a little bit of a scent. You can let those dry for a minute. As you can see, I went over this flower a little bit. We can wait for that to dry a second, and then we can go over that with our colorless blender, and we should be able to try to take that color away. Let me pick another color for our leaves. What is G15? Let's try the sugar cane, my favorite. I like this color. Over here. Let's see how it does if I add color on top of another color. I'm going to go for my canary yellow. And I want to add yellow to the sides here. Just where I think the light might be. And maybe I'll add some right here. You could do this before, but I'm doing it after. It's fine. And now that this is dried a little bit, let's take our, the same color I used for the dark, I'm going to just use as the shading as well. Not to overcomplicate anything. Just nice, easy coloring. We're going to take the color that I used on the top part of the pickle, which I believe was this one. And some shadows here too. Probably under the flower. Bring it down in here if you wanted. And yeah, maybe we'll use this color to shade in our leaf a little. Let's take our colorless blender. Let's see if we can. We'll let that dry, and hopefully that little light part will lighten up, and then we'll be able to color over it. I know a little trick for bubbles. First, we need to find our bubble color first. Let's go for maybe some pinks. Sure, why not? What is this one? R302. That will work. And maybe a lavender. Okay, that works too. So if you go over the bubble with your colorless blender first, and let's take some pink, and let's take some purple, and then you can go over the middle again with your colorless blender, and then that will make it look kind of translucent and have some different colors to it. Do this big one again. And this time we'll put the pink on this side. And we'll add the purple on the top. And you take your color blender, go in there again. And there's one more right here. And then after that's all dried, you can add white highlights and go around it with white if you'd like. Let's use our pink shade. Let's color some of these little flowers. Yeah, the control on the brush is really nice. Actually very impressed. Because there's no like severe bleed out. It's not overly juicy, so you feel you have more control over your pages. And I haven't seen any massive streaking. This little bleed out down here, that was my coloring and boo-boo, but it wasn't the markers. Oh, and this flower up here. I missed a big leaf. We'll get it. I think it was this one. The only thing I would change would be maybe color names on the caps to help with direction a little bit. Since my yellow didn't work very well on my pickle, I'm going to try my colorless blender. See if I can get that to create a line of light. We'll see how that works. If it looks really bad, it's okay. We can fix it with pencil. Just trying some different things out. I was going to do those other little flowers purple. You can do little swirls. You can go up and down, whatever is easier for you. I'm going to take a slightly darker shade of pink, 304. This is the Pastel Rose. Let's just give these flowers a little bit of extra shading. Not on the whole thing, just where you think maybe a shadow might be. And I can take my yellow and I could add those to the flowers as well. This is why one of my favorite colors is yellow, because it's such a versatile color. My pickle has some issues, I think, but we can fix him. Let's see here. This is the darker purple. Let's add in some shadows into those. And I think we want to do this one pink. And if you go on top of it while it's still wet, it will kind of blend into the other color. That's just how alcohol markers are. And I'm thinking we want to start working on maybe the water. I made the bubbles purple and pink, but that's okay. Let's do the mint blue. I'm going to start off with the top here. And I think I'm going to give this a textured water. And I'll show you how to do that. But first we're going to put down our color. I would think that the water would be lighter on top than on bottom. So we're gonna have that be on top, and then we'll do the 203 for the bottom part of the jar. Trying to keep my alcohol marker wet so that I don't get any lines. But if I do get lines, it's okay, because I'm going to do a texture effect to the water. So it will be fine. But I'm trying to also show you how to go around small objects without creating lines. And if you do have to create a line, try to do it in a small spot, or a spot that's not very noticeable to the eye. I'm actually really enjoying these markers. It's my honest opinion. They're very relaxing in the hand. Very similar to HOTU's filling, but not as high of a cost. I'm gonna let that dry. Let's color that little tag. Our 611 might be a good color for the tag. Actually, let's try this, the yellow 211, the grayish yellow. Looks almost like a tan color. And then we can go in with this little darker one. Make it look a little more vintagey. Yeah. That is very nice. And give ourselves, I think a purple string would be nice. I picked this page because it wasn't overly complicated, just so that we could really just show what these markers could do. I'm trying not to use any other kind of supplies because I really just want to highlight these markers.
Maybe I can't get it close enough. Looks like this stuff like Yada. And I don't know to get Yada close enough.
I'm thinking it probably would have been best to make this in pickle juice, but we can have it in water. It's fine.
Okay, we don't know to do that.
Maybe it hasn't turned into pickle juice yet because she's in there bathing, relaxing. We'll take our little bit darker purple here. And we can take our colorless blender to create a highlight. Usually I do this with white gel pen, but we'll see what we can accomplish with the markers. Okay, so I think this is pretty much dry, the water. And so what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna take this colorless alcohol marker blender, and I'm just going to do little circles in the blue.
Look, I don't know what's... So...
All over in the water. I don't want to get the flowers, but I do want to get the pickle where it's darker. You could also do it like a dotting technique if you want. I find the circle method a little bit easier on my hand. Fanny. And we're gonna do this bottom part too. If you want to do a little bit of circle and a little bit of dotting, you can do a little bit of both. Whatever you want. As it dries, you'll see the magic will be revealed. You feel like you're creating lines, adding some dots. You can even create some bigger dots if you want. That's why the lines, creating streaks wasn't that important, because you're creating a texture right now with this alcohol marker blender, which you could do with any alcohol marker. Like you could go over with a different color and it would create this, but in a color. And then I want to make sure we get little dots going on this rim. Okay, I'm gonna let that dry. And there's a little bit of color on there. You just kind of wipe it on your scrap paper. It'll be fine. That's why it's a good thing to have extra alcohol marker blenders, pens, and stuff like that. I'm trying to think if this has a double string on it, because I know that's a rim, and I'm thinking this is another string. Let's just make, oh, and I use the darker purple. Oh, it's okay. And we can see what kind of effect. Let's see what will happen if we add this dark pink to on top of our purple. Look how pretty that looks. So don't be afraid to shade with other colors. Might come up with something really cool. And let's do our jar top, but let me just see here. Pastel gray blue, 910. This one. I'm thinking we want to give some shadow for our jar. Just my daughter. She's using the microwave. Making her some soup, I think.
So her skin's supposed to be blue. Her skin's like blue, actually.
And then let's do our top lid, and let's do it with a cool gray. I think would be best. Closer to the cool gray 3, I think. I'm going to use a chisel on here because it's a very large space and I want to get some even coverage. And maybe if I want to do some shading and bring in more green to this picture, I can shade this cool green with green. We'll see what kind of look we can get with that. Sorry, my dog is being a little noisy. It's probably because she can hear my daughter. She's trying to get attention. Quiet, Izzy. Okay, so I'm using the dark green that I used down here. And I think I'm going to go over these again a little. So I think some of our definition was lost when I used the blender. But I can also use it up here to define our jar. Adding some green to our picture. And I can take our pickle green. Maybe I can add some little dots in here. Kind of a look there and kind of a different feel. And then this is just if you have a white gel pen, you could take your white gel pen, Izzy, quiet, and you can go over and create highlights where you want to create highlights on your page. You can do more to your bubbles if you want, but since I didn't color the whole jar in the background, if I colored it totally white, I think we would get the look wouldn't look quite right. So I'm not going to worry about doing too much to my bubbles. Adding some highlight to my ribbon. Anywhere where I think might need a little extra. And I feel like my pickle needs some right here. then in the water on the top, I'm just going to create little like squiggles. Scribbly type of a look. And then right here, I'm just defining my line with the white. Because we want it to have a definition between the top and the bottom. And down here, I'm gonna put in some little bubble things. Just different sizes. Great way to hide any kind of little mistakes that you don't like. That's where you add a little bubble or something. You can add some dots on the top too. And then let's do a little bit of a highlight on the top of our jar. But that is it, friends. I think that will do us. Take out our water sheet, so dry. And this is my coloring with these new HOTU markers. And like I said, I'm gonna have a link down in the description box below where you can purchase them on Amazon, and I'm gonna have a discount code, and that's going to be up until the end of May. And after that, and that's for this year, and after that, the discount code will go away. So if you are interested in picking up some of these wonderful markers, I'd say check it out. And happy coloring, everyone, and thank you for watching. Bye, friends.